That's 42.
Come on, field goal champion.
Two different vibes, right? Still locked in.
All right.
Donovan, you talked after Game 3, and Kenny talked about the closeout game being the most difficult one in a series. That obviously you guys had a blowout win tonight. How did you not allow this group to become complacent?
This guy right here. I mean, like, we all had the mindset. Max sent a text last night in the group chat, just reminding us. And it really speaks to the collectiveness of the group, what we have. And then when you get out there and he sets the tone with a steal and a dunk, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really, And then he had some words that he said to me that I won't repeat, but that's when I knew we were going to win. Like, that just speaks to where we're all at, and that's the biggest thing, just the maturity level as a group. But we handled our business, and this is the toughest game of the series, and for us, we really set the tone, and that's something to be proud of.
You guys came to Miami and won 2 games without Darius available because of his injury, and you won those games by 92 points combined. What does that say about the rest of this group?
As a group, next man up. We've shown it all year. When I've been out, when you haven't been out, when Ev's been out, but DG's been out. We've shown it all year. We're a resilient group. Everybody's ready, and that just speaks to us, our work ethic, our collectiveness, and then Kenny for putting us in the right spots consistently.
For either one of you guys, you talked before the series started, no matter what happens, you're going to gain something from the series against Miami, and it's going to make you better for this playoff journey ahead. What do you feel like that was?
Our intensity on the defensive end. I feel like that took leaps and bounds every single game that we played, and tonight was an excellent showing of how intense we can play, what level and standards that we can be at every single night.
Donovan, what did the text read from Max?
It said, I'll make sure I can read all of it. Take care of business so we can get some rest into the next round. Let's take all the advantages we can get, plus other words. But that just speaks to our group, man. Like, it's everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you can point to Jay, you can point to me, Ev, and Max has been that guy for us consistently. But, like, it just speaks to our group and our camaraderie and understanding the moment, which is huge.
Tyler Hero was talking a lot of trash throughout the course of this series, and
You've been waiting for this one. You've been waiting.
He finished 1 of 10 from the field with 4 points. Can you just speak to Max's defensive effort, your guys' defensive effort, to neutralize him?
Big time, man. When Max Strus, Sam Merrill, DeAndre Hunter, Dean Wade, just continuing to take that challenge. He's not a bad player at all by any means, but making his life tough. That's the goal, and the stats show how great of a defensive effort we've put together to kind of stop him, and for it to be like it was tonight was huge in a closeout game, and you got to give all the credit to those guys, man, who continuously put the work in defensively, and then also on the offensive end they're also running around and continually get on the boards, making shots. So give Max a lot of credit, give Sam a lot of credit, Dean, Dre, Ice, everybody, continue making it tough.
Kenny was just talking about DeAndre after the trade, all the circumstances that he went through, the road trips, and maybe never quite settling in now that he was able to maybe catch his breath a bit.
Right.
When you get a more maybe dynamic DeAndre Hunter, what does that do for you guys?
It just opens it up for everybody else. I feel like this whole playoff series, he started out 0 points the first game. He just kept getting more and more comfortable. And I think that just speaks to how we were on offense. He came in game 3, and that really opened up the whole game. Everybody was getting shots. Ty and Dre were working together. When he's comfortable and he's in the flow of things, it makes the offense run so much smoother.
You guys beat an NBA team by 55 in a playoff game. Is there any point during the game that you just take a moment to let that in?
Yeah, I was telling Jalen Tyson, man, like, this is special. I was telling him, like, this is your first playoff series. This is what you're watching. This, like, something, this shit isn't normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate the moment. Appreciate, we've said it all series. This is not a 10-seed team. Like, you know what I mean? This is a very talented team that we're playing against, competing against. So enjoying the moment. I think we maybe got 2 days to do that, and then it's time to lock in on whoever it is. So we have a bigger goal in mind. I think for us, understanding that this is special. We've been doing special things all year, but we didn't come here just to sweep in the first round and get to the second. You know what I mean? So the goal is how can we, take advantage of this rest, this break, and then be ready to go for next round.
It could be easy to forget, and I know I did. The first 2 games of the series were pretty close. So how did you guys come down here and, I guess, break the series open?
I feel like,
This
honestly,
guy right here.
Honestly, I feel like we watched so much film. We were so locked into everything that we were doing, every single practice. It was almost like we were going overboard in terms of making sure that every single thing was as perfect as it could be. I mean, you can attest to it. It was like every single second we're watching the same clips, learning the same thing. But that's just how it is when you got to beat a team like this. We're going to their home court. We know that they're one of the best teams in terms of making sure all 15 of their guys are ready to play, but we were ready ourselves.
For any of you, being first seed and now sweeping the series, was that the expectation from day one, or this result surpassed the expectation? And what's the expectation from now on?
I mean, the expectation, obviously you go in to expect to win every game. We know with a team like this, anything's possible. They're able to take a game, they're able to take 2 games. But the expectation was for us to play our brand of basketball, our level of intensity. And if we play like that every single night, I feel like we can sweep a lot of teams.
Donovan, there was a point in the second quarter, you guys were up by 34, and then there was a timeout, and you and Max had a passionate discussion about either an offensive breakdown or a defensive breakdown. What does that speak to?
Our desperation. I think we had another talk in the third quarter. I flopped and tried to draw a foul instead of contesting a 3. And Max like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Excuse my language, and I hope I don't get fined, but very passionate about that stuff because that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Max and I have a great relationship in that regard. I really respect, him and his work ethic and what he sees. So, both times we both saw something, and we were working on some things. We worked on the shows, and I threw a bad pass. And it's all right, is it 2 dribbles off? Is it 1 dribble off? It's what are we looking for throughout the series, and understanding that what ways we can capitalize for the next series. So just ways to be, better on both ends of the floor, and then accountability as well.
Hey guys, congratulations. I just wanted to ask, what was the mood inside the locker room at halftime? You were obviously on a good run. Was there any talk at any given point not to let go? Were you guys aware of how well you were playing?
Yeah, the first half doesn't really mean much, especially with the way the NBA and the 3-point shots and different things. So it was a great start, but we got to finish our breakfast. At the end of the day, go out there and set the tone in the third. And I was really impressed. We didn't make shots to start the third for real. We kind of missed a few, and then I was still guarding. You know what I mean?
I went 5 for 5.
Yes, you were 5 for 5. Selfish, bro. But just continue to keep up that defensive effort, stay locked in. That was huge.
Donovan, you mentioned desperation a minute ago. How do you find that when you have a 3-0 series lead?
I think Jay, we all could speak. We 5 days of no basketball of rest. I think that's definitely one way, but also too understanding that how quickly a series can change if you give a team life. Last year we only won 1 road game. We've only won 1 road playoff game since I've been here until this year. And for us, just never being satisfied, and it's really a test on ourselves, understanding that we're up 3-0, but this is our test is against ourselves. We like Jay said, when we're playing at our best, we feel like we're the best in the NBA. But it's the mental lapses. It's the little things that we can control. How are we continuously, handling those situations? So that desperation that I speak on is doesn't matter if it's 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, 3-2, whatever it is. Understanding that it's really us against us, and our mistakes that we possibly compound could lead to breakdowns, which leads to losses. So understand that we got to be perfect and try to play as perfect as possible.
How different is the confidence level going into the next round this year, winning 4-0, versus last year where you had to go 7 games?
I'll tell you we're rested, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think rest does a huge part in it. I don't feel like we're confident, but we're not overconfident. Like, we know in this league, everything resets. You know, the series is 0-0 back again, but we know that we're capable of playing at the highest level now.
Anything else in the room? All right, so wrap.